Hey everybody, welcome to Elden Dogs.
Oh, whoops, hold on.
Boom.
I was just gonna congratulate us on being in sync with that, and then you ruined it.
Yeah, I'm running a little behind today, let's put it that way.
I just want to start off this episode by saying, Tyler, you look a little tired.
I'm very tired. It was a late night. I was at my brother's bridal shower.
Okay.
It was a wedding shower, but
I
we kept calling
misunderstood.
his bridal
Oh,
shower.
Yeah.
Nah, I drank all of it. I had
Wait, it was a bridal shower?
it was a wedding shower,
What? Okay, what?
which was supposed to be like, all right.
I have a wedding in like 6 months and I'm still confused about this
Yeah,
shit.
I don't get the showers. I've never been to a bridal shower. Yesterday was my first one.
Okay,
Yeah.
what do you
instead
do
of-
at that?
They opened gifts. There was a bunch of food. We played bags and
Wait,
We're going to have a groom's bath for mine.
it better be just a big jacuzzi.
It's just a big jacuzzi.
Yeah.
And everyone brings different bath salts for me to use.
Now try this one, it has lavender.
I'm Gideon Offnear, the all-knowing, the ever-presumptuous, the total douche. I do the research and pretend I know what I'm talking about despite not knowing what I'm talking about.
I'm Dylan the Dung Eater. I actually live in a cell at the bottom of the Capitol and I bang my head against a wall.
And I think that I have chosen somebody to replace Bach as my placeholder name.
What's that?
Alexander, Jarhead Iron Fist.
Oh, I like that.
Very good.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. He helped me. He helped me beat Radon.
Which, by the way, that patch made him very difficult.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have lightning.
A new patch? They did another
Patch
patch
from
for
before.
Radon?
Radon became hard again.
When they
good.
fixed, when they fixed Merica, they also unnerfed him. He had a similar thing where, like, his hitbox was super big or something. I can't remember.
His attacks are at least like 25% more powerful too.
Okay.
which makes the meteor attack so much more terrifying because every time it happens, I still don't know. I just run.
You know, it's been like
I get on torrent and I'm out of there. Yeah.
it's been like 60 or 70 hours since I played Radon. It's been game time.
Yeah.
So it seems so far away. I should get to him again.
Yeah.
On my replays, I have not gotten past. I've gotten past Godric, but then I'm kind of just at Liurnia of the Lakes, just looking out. Then I'm like, I don't know if I want to go further, but we're picking up pace here with Elden
Absolutely.
Dogs, so that's good.
Yeah.
Today we were going to talk a little bit about the Weeping Peninsula and the Roundtable Hold.
Yeah.
I thought we would jump into the Roundtable Hold to get started.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Roundtable Hold. Dylan, what is your understanding of what the Roundtable Hold is?
It's like a nexus between worlds. It's kind of like a safe dimension in between things. Like it feels like it doesn't have an actual physical location as even shown on the map.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's in video game terms, it's more of a hub than anything.
Yeah.
But in an open world like this, there's no point to have a hub other than the fact that it's just Dark Souls tradition to kind of you go to a place and a bunch of people congregate.
Yeah.
And you kind of get a little more of like the lore dumps and you have a little bit more to pay attention to. It's the closest thing this series is probably going to have to like a town like that you'd have in traditional RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played the Dark Souls games, as you know.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of NPCs in the Dark Souls hubs?
So you kind of meet them along the way. There are kind of main hubs, like the first true bonfire you get to in Lordran,
Yeah.
where people will congregate. Not as nearly as many as this.
Yeah.
The highest number it usually gets because people, they come and go, and usually the highest amount you get is like 5 at any given time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been having this internal debate with how much we jump around lore-wise and spoiler-wise, and I kind of just figured out that it'd be impossible for us to talk through what's happening in this game without jumping ahead.
Yeah.
So
It's too interconnected. That's the...
yeah, so soft spoiler warning. We won't try and we have to say things that are going to be way out of order sometimes, but I won't spoil things for you two. Now, Dylan, you have or have not beaten the game yet?
I have not beaten the game because I don't mind being spoiled. It doesn't really like bother me. I can guess a lot, and I've unfortunately, been on Reddit, and I have seen things.
Yeah.
Which is okay. You know what? I'm taking it at my own pace. I'm almost done. No, I'm not. I keep playing new characters because it's not like I get bored, but
Have you gotten to the tippy top of the mountain?
no.
You haven't fought a really big thing?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I think that's what's next for me.
You're in the cold area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm up
I've
there.
been to that area, but I have not been to the tippy top.
But one thing that I think is better for discussion purposes is we are going to be talking a lot of different locations, and sometimes we'll be an NPC. Like today, we're going to be in the Weeping Peninsula, and Sorceress Selen will make a brief appearance. But I think it makes more sense to save the culmination of someone's story for certain things. So like we'll talk all the way through Edgar and Arena today.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, I think it's better to break up because some NPCs like it'd be silly to talk about Whiteface Vara's complete storyline, which I'm sure you two aren't familiar with yet.
No.
Oh, because it is a doozy. But yeah, so we'll just kind of go as we go along. Yes, the Roundtable Hold is a place that is unlocked after you accept Melina as your maiden and you progress to a certain point. It's not set in stone. Some of it might just be you die once to Margit. You might use a site of grace in a certain area. It's not like it's not a.
It's not set to that location.
Well, the Roundtable Hold is unlocked by Melina after you just do a certain thing, and it could be a number of different things.
I know the way I unlock it every time.
Yeah.
Which is I go around the castle.
Yeah. Yep. And that's one of the ways you just get to a site of grace on the other side. It's unlocked a various number of ways, but Melina will show up and say, I wasn't sure. Torrent was sure the whole time you were a legit homie, but I thought you might be a big poser boy. But turns out she's like, I guess you're cool enough to go to the Roundtable Hold. The Roundtable Hold, it's also a location that I'm sure you guys have seen elsewhere in the world.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to jump ahead to a different region we weren't covering.
We have to go for it.
I was pretty shocked to find it in the capital. Mm-hmm. And
it's a very fun moment. You're like, wait a sec, what?
Yeah, this looks familiar.
Excuse me.
I got there. I was doing one of those invasions, the Yit, and I had a buddy with me. Not like an NPC
one,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And then because I had already been through the capital and progressed past that, so it was going back to the capital, and I'm like, how the hell did I miss this the first time?
Because the capital is a giant, confusing, sprawling area.
It's dense.
It's amazing. If you miss one little well, you might miss all of underground.
Yeah,
because you just didn't notice one tiny little thing. It's crazy how that actually works. But yeah.
I had trouble getting further into the deep of it. There's still some parts where I'm like, I hear there's a boss at the end of this, but I don't know where to go.
I missed a lot down there.
Yeah.
I missed it entirely. I was so fed up with looking for the well.
Rumor has it Dylan's still down there tied to a chair somewhere. We're not sure.
Yeah.
But yes, it reminded me very much of Bloodborne when you discover the hunter's dream is a real location. And I think it's kind of functions in the same way. So the Roundtable Hold is kind of like the hub, and it's not just for like Tarnished or NPCs. It's specifically like a hub for the Golden Order, for the people that are trying to restore the Golden Order. They're fighting to bring the America back, bring the Elden Lord, and just restore what was there before.
Mm-hmm. The two fingers.
So that's why like Whiteface Vara, if you go there and you come back, and you're like, I don't know. They seem kind of full of. He's like, I know, right? Bunch of lamos.
Yeah.
But
I like that dude's style. He's outside of the Blood Rose Church.
Yeah, he moves. And then
he's hard to keep track of.
Yeah. And he's up to some fun shenanigans.
Yeah.
You'll find out later on. But so, yeah. And it was actually a real place in Lanedell where they were like located. And they're like, I don't want to say that they're like the Secret Service or they're like a police force that is there to enforce the will of the Golden Order.
Well, they're like a theocratic police force.
Yeah.
It's why they teach. It's really funny because you get the sense right away because if you're a sorcerer in this game and you start out as a sorcerer, I find it really interesting how hard it is to find teachers for sorcery unless you stumble upon it. Whereas the first time you go to the Roundtable Hold, there's just a dude there willing to teach you whatever the fuck you give him.
Yeah, it's in order to, because you'll find these books scattered around there. It'll be like
prayer books,
this prayer book or this prayer book, and yeah, that is the easiest one to access. You're pretty limited as far as to who you can offer those things. I like though that Corin, one of the people in the Roundtable Hold, you're like, I found this dragon prayer book. Is like, this is
kind of fucked.
This is really sinful.
Yeah, this is blasphemous.
He still fucking teaches.
He'll teach you, but the Turtle Pope is just like, ain't no sins here, buddy. Let's have some fun.
It's really funny to me too, because I had never progressed with a faith-based character enough to the point where if you don't kill one enemy on the field, you don't get the Dragon Cult prayer book. It's just one dude on the field. And I had never beaten him, and I'm like, where's the lightning in this game? Because in Dark Souls, once you get that lightning bolt, it is over. And I was just like, where's the lightning, man? I'm sick of throwing these slow-ass fireballs. I hate this. And then I got the lightning, and everything has been so easy now in the game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things are weak to lightning, as it turns out, in this game.
Yeah. I mean, it's all environment-based, too. And anything that's wearing metal, they're going to be more susceptible to lightning.
Anything that flies.
Yeah.
Those pesky knife birds.
Yeah. So we had some birds, so we just like filed down their legs and attached knives to them.
Yeah.
That guy had a shitty job.
We had this one that like spat fire, and we just gave him some knives on his feet too. We didn't think he was deadly enough.
Just the most heavy metal dude, just filing down birds' feet. What a monster.
Yeah.
Something else about the Roundtable Hold. Some people have theorized it's actually located within the Erdtree. I don't like this theory myself, but there is a point where something happens to the Erdtree and it's reflected in the Roundtable Hold. So I think it's this pocket dimension, this outside realm is created from the power of the Erdtree, but I don't think it's located inside.
Well, if the Erdtrees are essentially, like God-given, and it makes sense that they would have like a little pocket dimension, like its own little heaven or purgatory or something like that.
I almost imagine every time you go to the Roundtable Hold, you're killing yourself.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's actually kind of cool, because it kind of creates like this meta textual whole idea about it.
Yeah.
It's like when someone teleports in Star Trek. It's like, are you dying?
Yeah. And in Rodrika, she wants to join her people that went ahead of her into Stormvale Castle, which we'll talk about next time. But
yeah,
you find her hood there, and it's kind of shown that you find a hood of hers in there, and it's kind of hinted like, oh, she died there, and then she's moved to the Roundtable Hold. But you also, yeah, I mean, I like to think that every time you go there, you're just kind of dying, and they didn't want to show you killing yourself literally every time. This isn't Persona 4, right? Or Persona 3?
Yeah, where they put a gun to their head every single time.
Every time they use a summon in that game, they shoot themselves in the head.
Have you ever seen it? No. It is fucking jarring. A game like that would not be made in the world today, just because of suicide prevention and stuff like that. But it's wild because that whole game is just a series of you shooting yourself in the head thousands of times. Now they're like they make a point to say that there are no bullets in it. They shoot like spirit energy into your forehead, and that summons the persona.
Yeah.
But some characters, like, they do it like this, and then some people do it like this. I'm basically like showing different ways you can like put a gun to your head.
Yeah. So you arrive in the Roundtable Hold, and there's a table right in the center, which I didn't realize right away is just also a giant site of grace. You
didn't know that?
I didn't know it right away. No, I fast traveled in and out, and I didn't use it as a spot to rest. I didn't think to. But there's a nice big round table, and there's a bunch of people around there. The leader and the senior member of the Hold is myself, Gideon Ofnir, who I thought was Sean Bean. It is a rare occasion. He sounds a lot like Ned Stark a little bit, but it's not. I did do a check.
Who is it?
I forget
Someone
his
I would
name.
know.
He lets you know, though, I am in charge. I am your senior. You are not cool. You're a visitor. Remember your place. If you ever do anything cool, I might learn your name. But until then, just kind of stay out of our way.
I think it's kind of funny though too, because I don't know who Melina is, and I've not been spoiled yet.
Yeah,
she's obviously a special character. If she has the ability to just bring people there, because can all maidens do that?
Gosh, I just came up with a theory in my head about who Melina might be.
Okay.
Melena's got a unique case, and she definitely shares a very similar model to Ronnie. And Ronnie and Godwin are intimately linked in a weird way with the Knight of Black Knives. And sometimes my eyes just start rolling back. The first, I don't know, you think you're going to learn one thing, so you research another thing, and that leads to 10 more things. You realize the interconnectedness of it all. But Gideon is there. He's in charge, and he pretty much says, you're not that cool. You'll also run into Corin, who we mentioned before. He is a holy practitioner who sells you incantations.
Yeah.
One thing, though, when you are giving people books, they move around. So if you give someone a nice book and you don't have enough runes to buy something, they might be in a new area next time you come back. So
I haven't had it happen yet.
I always just take things to the Turtle Pope because he stays where he's supposed to be.
Okay.
And he's a safe person. Yeah.
Whenever I give someone a prayer book, I almost buy all the spells right away.
You could bring him the Bible and the Book of Satanism, and he's like, whoa, dude, these are pretty righteous.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't get any sideways looks.
I'm just having fun with that dragon prayer book. It's working for me.
And something that's kind of cool about the Roundtable Hold is almost a lot of the people mentioned in the opening, Sir Gideon Ofnir, Fia the Deathbed Companion, the Gold Mask, he is not there, but Corin is intimately tied. He's like, his whole thing, Corin, is I just want to find Gold Mask and help him out. Mm-hmm. And that's his goal. So a lot of what ultimately ends up being possible endings and major characters with really big quest lines are all here. Mm-hmm. At least they start here, which is kind of cool. Yeah, Corin just wants to tell you a few different prayers. He's a nice guy, though. Dialos is a noble looking for his loyal servant, Lanya, a childhood friend. Maybe if she ran away, she was tired of being your servant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Making fun of her for being like a tomboy immediately. Like, she's just a brat tomboy, but she's my servant.
I just like her. I miss her.
It's like she has one of those cute short haircuts.
We wouldn't make fun of her, though.
I usually am not attracted to something like that, but...
I need to find her. You definitely get the sense that Dialos is a noble boy out on an adventure. He doesn't know ultimately who he is yet or what he's going to be.
He's very naive.
He's naive, and he does eventually just like fall into some bad gangs later on in the story. Eventually,
I don't
though,
know if they're that bad.
he ultimately though becomes he has a noble ending to his story, which is really cool.
I'm trying to complete his whole story. That's like my main focus right now.
Well, you mentioned there's like this is the closest thing we have to a village. There is only one other village that is like a safe spot.
Yeah.
And that's where Dialos goes, and it's a really cool spot.
I love that place.
Yeah. Which is somehow I totally missed it.
You missed
the first time, yeah.
Volcano?
No, not that one.
Is it
Jarburg?
Oh, it's not a midsummer sort of thing.
Jarburg.
I think it's Jarburg or Jarbairn, something like that. There's a city of the jars.
Now where's this located?
I haven't found that.
The tower that you have to invert, right around there.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, you have to jump off this little weird area, and then there's just jar people hanging out.
Get the fuck out of here!
I know.
Check that out.
It's pretty cool.
Oh man, you know what? Do you remember like when you were young and you played like Super Smash Brothers Melee, and they kept introducing like new characters for you, and you'd be like, "What? They're in this game?" And then like at the end, like you play 150 hours of it, and like Mewtwo shows up, and you're like, "There was still another character."
I can't believe there's more.
Man. Yeah. It's just like this is just a puzzle box of craziness.
I don't know how they keep all the lore straight in their head when they're making this thing, because it's got like in front of Miyazaki and maybe another couple people, like they have the lore Bible in their head, but I think they also just let a lot of the creators like this is my idea for this sort of catacombs, and we'll have these monsters, and this is like my brief story synopsis for this location. I think he lets people have a lot of fun with it, and then he kind of just says, just change this to more align with what Godfrey's Long March would have done, and that's why we'll have this Berserk monument outside of Castle Morn. It's just a fucking huge, twisty mess. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I'm like 96 hours in, and the lore still for me is like hit or miss when it comes to understanding what the fuck is going on.
It's not going to get easier.
I'm pulling a lot of it together because I've been playing multiple times with multiple characters. This is not something I do in video games. Usually I get done with a video game and I just like brush it off. But I haven't felt the need to get a new video game in a while.
I
didn't have the need, but MGC kind of facilitated the opportunity, and then I spent a lot of money. So now I'm overloaded on games.
I mean, I got Chuck E. Cheese's party games and Big Mother Truckers, so I think I'll be fine for a while.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think
hours of endless fun in Big Mother Truckers.
Absolutely.
You'll also run into D, Hunter of the Dead. You'll find
him.
He'd
be my second character.
He's got like a Siamese twin armor with just like, and he holds the head a lot of the time, which is odd. You can first find him outside of the Roundtable Hold to the left of Summon Water Village.
Yes.
And he'll say, there's a Tibia Mariner. It's just like a weird ghost guy in a boat. Don't fuck with him. He's probably going to kill you. He's like, something evil's going on up there, but you kill him, and then he'll be in the Roundtable Hold. Essentially, he is trying to hunt those that live in death, those that are an abomination to the Golden Order, the what is decreed they should be doing, and
for Deathroot.
Now, Deathroot comes from an interesting situation, which neither of you are ready to hear the full tale of. Suffice it to say, his story is intimately tied with Fia, the deathbed companion, and Deathroot is coming from something getting into the Erdtree roots that is spreading a small amount of corruption. And the Deathroot,
Do you know how much it sucks to like be talking about it and wanting to go back to it right away? Because I wasn't even planning on playing today, but now I'm going to.
I went down a rabbit hole. I'm like, Fia might be the spirit of a dragon today. I was like, I don't know about this, but it's possible. Yes, and essentially,
but that's still in Limgrave, the
Summon Water Village.
Yeah.
And then you take a Deathroot. If that, you might get another one before that. That's likely to be the first one you get. You take it to D, Hunter the Dead, and he will tell you where to teleport to Garank, who is in
the best place to level on the face of the planet early.
I didn't like that area. Those guys beat the shit out of me. Those little dudes.
Oh, I got so used to fighting them. I knew all their patterns. I knew how to sneak up on them exactly. Like I had a whole pattern, and then I would use the feet early on if you get those golden feet.
Yeah.
And then like level 6. Imagine if you know how to fight these guys, you can get probably easy peasy like 40,000 pretty much right away, and cut your
I was holding those feet like they were a precious resource. Like I do in every video game, I resource hoard, and I'm like, I'm not going to use this potion.
What is the joke? I'm saving those for my retirement.
Yeah. Well, this game makes you use stuff all the time, but those feet, I was like, I don't know, like I'm going to end up dying. I'll lose these runes. Like I'm just going to hold on to them, and then I realized
use them for bosses.
I killed an owl, and I realized you can craft them. I had got one of the recipe books, and it's like, hey, now you can make these things. So now owls are not safe in my presence. I'm like, if I see them, they're going down.
Mm-hmm.
The Owl Hunter. Yes, he can send you to Garank, and I've read a few places that it's possibly a reference to Vampire Hunter D. Oh, great anime, but not sure on that. Fia,
I would imagine.
We'll mention Fia. She is sitting on a bed. She's also in the intro, the Deathbed Companion, and I walked in there when Carly was in the room, and she's like, do you want me to hold you? I was like, I don't want Carly in here if I'm having weird sex with somebody. So I held off, and I wasn't sure if I let her hold me for a while because I'm still afraid with NPC quests. Dark
Souls, you kind of get the sense of what things are good and what things are bad, and it's just like I'm like this sounds like a pleasant thing, and they'll always trick you with shit like that.
Like you guys know, I'm playing the yes man where I just say yes to everything. And
you're going to have a lot of people die, dude.
They're dying.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
But when I got to Fia, I have never clicked yes faster. Margaret had just smashed my ass about 1,000 times, and I needed a hug.
You needed a hug.
Like, yeah, please.
And then you got that permanent reduction.
So do you guys...
Wait, what?
Do you guys know what a Deathbed Companion is?
That's one of the first things that I did kind of look into once I got further in the game and found some stuff, and her story kind of moved forward a little bit. I was like, you're kind of interesting, and finding you bitches on the map when I don't know where to go is a lot of work. So I'm going to just do a little reading.
Yeah.
Tell us what a deathbed companion is.
They will lie with the dead. Like, they don't do anything funky from what I read. But Brad's looking at me like I might be wrong.
Dude.
Well,
they fuck them.
a deathbed companion, they do embrace people to get a little bit of your life essence, and then they take the life essence that they take, like all they collect, and they use it to transfer it to a deceased noble. And the transference, it's possible. It could mean a couple things. It could mean that she is having sex with a dead noble in order to become pregnant and extend the life of the dead noble through progeny. I don't think she's doing resurrection because I think that would go against the religion, because when she becomes a tarnished, when the guidance of grace comes back and she can't die, she becomes exercised from her community. Like, this is against what we stand for. You can't be undead.
So they're essentially consorts.
Consorts for the dead. Yeah. I think the way I would understand it is, yes, her job is to help them live again through progeny.
Okay, so my reading was way off. I don't know what I was reading.
Well, it's one of these things where it's conjecture a lot of times, but she was a deathbed companion for Prince Godwin when he died. And some weird shit happens. We'll say it like that. We'll talk more about Fia later on. But yes. And then if you give her a hug, you're going to lose a little bit of your health. And then you also gain poise by doing that. And then you have Baldekin's Blessing and use that item. Then you'll get your health back and it'll kind of eventually just reset. You can go get it again. I carried around this small health debuff for a long time, not knowing what was going on. Which is fine. You just get used to it.
I'm still carrying it.
Yeah.
I still got it.
You still got it? I don't know where to find the item to get rid of it. I haven't done it, though.
It's called Baldekin's Blessing.
Baldekin's.
Yep, just use it, and then it'll go away. And then you can give her another hug, as long as she's still around. There is Ensha, who is outside of Gideon's room. Ensha is an edgy edgelord who won't talk to you, and he just leans there, and he wears a lot of skulls.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
Ugly, one of the ugliest armors in the game. Not even like cool skull. I think it looks bad.
Yeah, it's definitely just some. People. I imagine Ensha has a pretty bad taste in music with armor like that.
It just looks like it's wet too. It
does look wet.
It's like
yeah, but
sweaty.
Part of what Gideon Ofnir does is he wants to know everything, so he has agents and people out there trying to do all the hard work for him. And
you can't count on him to be loyal, though.
You'll find out a lot about my loyalty later on. There are the Twin Maiden Husks.
Yeah.
Which look like, I've read a few things. They're just like mummified old maidens, and they're just like there, and you can buy stuff from them.
As long as you give them the bells.
You can give them the bells. Otherwise, they do have like a default set of things they'll sell too.
Yeah, but those items aren't really that interesting, except for maybe a few weapons that if you didn't choose a certain class.
Yeah, you can get a bow there pretty early on.
Yeah. You can get the Spirit Calling Bell if you didn't see Rena.
Yeah.
Which is essential. And also they sell rune arcs.
Can you imagine playing this game without the spirits helping you? There's some battles I just could not manage very well.
It's one thing I've learned from doing research for this is how many times I could have summoned even NPCs outside of bosses. I just didn't notice the little gold spot to summon them in.
They're not noticeable.
Yeah, they should be.
They're usually hidden around a corner or something. And
maybe if they were better telegraphed, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in the other games, you have to like use an item to have those signs pop up, and you'll see them right away. They're like right by the gate.
They should put giant ass billboards that say like aggro for you here, so that I can summon these people and put them into the fight, so that I can stand back and cast my spells like a little coward that I am.
Oh yeah.
Or they should have the NPC standing there spinning signs.
Yeah,
like have a hot dog sign.
It's me.
I did read on one Reddit post that someone said the Twin Maiden husks are essentially 3D printers for the music of the bells you ring. And I kind of like that because you ring the little bells and they're like, meh,
yeah,
here's an axe.
That's the best way to get those smithing stones early in the game, too.
I think, 1 through 3, 1 through 4.
The first one, you get 1, 2, and I think you only get 1 and 2 from the first bell. And then the second one, you get 3 and 4. Then the third one, you get 5 and 6.
There are, we mentioned Roderica is there, and then there's Ultimate Homie, Smithing Master Hugh.
Yep,
love him.
My favorite person in the Roundtable Hold.
Not a misbegotten.
A misbegotten.
Yeah, who has absolutely no faith in you. I could leave the room.
I thought you for dead.
Yeah, and come back like, all right, I got those smithing stones that you needed. He's like, oh, yeah, 5 minutes ago, I thought you were dead.
You get that from a lot of people in the game, too.
Yeah.
Pretty much every merchant, oh, you? I thought, what are you doing here again?
How are you still alive?
Yeah. Hugh, though, is a very interesting story.
Yeah.
He is a prisoner. He is forced to smith, and you try and say, oh, that sucks. Like, I'm not mad at you. I mean, you didn't put me here. He was tasked with creating a weapon to kill a god. He is terrified of her, and you find out later it's Marika. He
prays to her a lot.
She tasked him with making a weapon that could kill a god, and his memory's not great. I think he might be part omen too. It looks like he has horns that were cut off.
Yeah, I think you have a dialogue option at one point to bring it up.
It seems to me like there's so many ways you can get cursed in this game, and it seems like he has every version of that.
And he's just a good dude. And he mentions that Roderica, she seems like she would have a skill for spirit tuning, and she says, I'm just a regular person. I can't do anything. And eventually you just run back and forth and play tag a little bit, and they become friends.
If I didn't have the upgrade ability, I stumbled upon that by accident, and I was just like, where do I get these upgraded? Because I know you can do it. I just don't know where. And I'm like, oh, that girl from the shack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what she upgrades?
Oh, yeah. No, I've got her story. I mean, I don't know how long her story goes, but it's crazy how that's such a big element of the game, and it is so easy to miss if you don't follow through. Like once you go get her hood or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, because the first time I played on my first character was my first attempt at a Souls game ever, and I stumbled upon her and then missed it completely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when I got serious and I decided to take the game seriously and put my big boy pants on, created that new character, and then found her and was like, this could have been here the whole time?
Well, a lot of that stuff is like, it's not going to handhold you. You have to actually like inquire. Like, so if you see a new option pop up in the list of things you can do with a character, always press it. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And pay attention to, because a throwaway line that is in these dialogue trees could tell you where to find an important item, because there are a few really important items to get to new locations, which are telegraphed very subtly.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get the medallions to the Halig tree, you got to be a little lucky, because it's one of those things where I just scoured the map and I accidentally found them. But otherwise, if you don't like, people will tell you where things are, but if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I become kind of obsessive when people are talking. Like I feel like I should have a recorder so that because they're going to say something that is important and I'll forget it.
Yeah.
Or they'll say something that means absolutely nothing and then I obsess over it. Like, what did they mean by weird place? This whole place is kind of weird. I'm going to go back to Limgrave.
Yeah.
What do you mean the Erdtrees roots underneath the capital? I haven't seen that. And then, there's a lot more down there. Oh my God, there's some really spooky stuff.
I got to go back and go down there.
The inventor, Mad Tongue Albrick, if you jump down off of the railing and go down there, which I wasn't sure if I should at first, you get invaded by Mad Tongue Albrick, and I am someone who won't give you a chance to say hi. If you're invading me, I'm going to go behind you and just beat the shit out of you. If you don't do that and you let them spawn in, they'll give you a curtsy, like a little bow, and then you learn that gesture, which I never knew, which is supposed to be like a thing that you do if you are doing PvP. You're supposed to, that's just kind of common courtesy. You exchange gestures.
I do not care.
I don't care. I don't even do PvP, but like that's the only way to get it, which I was surprised.
When I do PvP, I'm just like, no, I'm going to fight you. Like, I'm not here to mess around. Like, there's a courtesy to it. And when I played Dark Souls 2, I would get so many like, you're supposed to bow. And I say, no. Like, that's like my response. Like they would send me shit over PlayStation Network and they'd be like, you're supposed to bow. And I said, says who? The game doesn't tell me to do that.
Yeah. How about no?
Like I play as a ruthless
I'm telling
character
the message
half
boards.
the time. Yeah. I'm like, why would I do that? No, I'm not required to do anything for you.
Yeah. Not everyone bows.
Yeah. If they had a teabag gesture for after you beat them, would you use it?
You can actually get that now.
No, what?
You can get patches like seated gesture, which very much is him teabagging.
I mean, you can crouch to begin with, so you can just do that yourself. You don't need a special gesture. Yeah.
What if it was a really animated gesture?
He was just like really getting into it, like he was humping the ground. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I still probably wouldn't use it. I don't use gestures often.
So Mad Tongue Albric is an aloof yet disturbed heretical sorcerer said to have been driven mad by Jeering Tongue during his service to the Roundtable Hold. You can find his body in the capital outside of the Roundtable Hold. My understanding is he served the original Roundtable Hold, and he thinks the one that's currently happening is heresy. Something is wrong with it, so he's trying to put an end to it when he comes in there.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and he drops the Taunter's Tongue. Also down there you find the Cipher Pata, which
I've been using it.
Yeah, that's
it's basically a claw, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's all faith-based. There's no scaling with strength or dexterity on it. So I am doing a character that is I'm running with weapons, but for the most part, I'm all spell-based. It's only for when people get close. Like, I've got, like, the Erdtree dagger right now. That's kind of what I'm rocking. Very underutilized.
Yeah.
And so this claw weapon, too, like, I'm kind of rocking both of them, and it looks cool, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's an interesting weapon. I didn't read the lore on it yet.
Yeah.
I intended to, and then I got distracted.
You find it in, like, a little bedroom down there, too. Mm-hmm. And I thought when I went to the Lanedale Roundtable Hold, there'd be something there, but I think there's just a body. It didn't say what was going on, but I still don't fully understand how
it almost looks like it was like looted.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And there are 2 imp statue doors if you go down a set of stairs, and
one gets you the black bolt or the black crossbow.
Yep.
And then the next room, which is you have to go to the next one, you get the Assassin's Prayer Book.
Which is good for PvP.
And also, I thought we were noble religious people here. You're sending out assassins, you dickbags. Yeah. They say that it's just like modern everything. We're doing it for the good. And then, like, truly, if you open up a couple back doors, like, yeah, we got some shit going on back there.
Some real CIA bullshit.
Yeah. Roundtable Hold. Great place. And there is more to it, but we won't talk about what else is going on in there.
A lot of this stuff is just going to end up popping up into our conversations anyway. So,
the Weeping Peninsula. I kind of when I started there, I went up and I knocked on Margaret's door, and then I like ding dong ditched or whatever the kids say. I was like, I saw him come out. I'm like, I'm going the other way, man. And I rode my horse so far away. I wound up all the way to Castle Morn.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, wow, this must be end game content. This seems so far away. Like, I should not be in this castle. Yeah. And it's funny looking back now because it's like, oh, this is the first area of the game still. It's that big.
It is literally probably the second place you should visit in the game. The enemies are leveled just enough to give you a challenge, but they don't really like overdo it.
And this is still technically part of Limgrave, too. It's very much kind of it's separate, but it's also still under Godric's realm.
It's a funnel because you have to go over the Bridge of Sacrifice.
Yeah.
And that's literally the only way in.
You can get around that bridge. You don't have to cross the bridge to get there.
What?
There's what are those things with torrent, the wind things that you can jump?
Yeah.
I went around it. It's to the right of it if you're going up, because I got murked right away by the ballista or whatever that's there, and I was like, no, I don't like you. But I want to go over there.
Yeah, you can shoot your way over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny though. I don't get hit a lot with torrent because I do like these weird zigzag patterns and I really kind of cheese it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, always zigzag, and I don't think people can really hit you.
Well, there's like 2 guards that are on foot right at the front of it, and I took one look and I was like, oh, I beat those guys all the time. So I jumped off torrent and started fighting them, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere I'm just like, whoa, hey. And then I rode away.
I think the way I play this game is very funny because it's literally me just going like, oh, look at all the danger ahead. Let's go all the way past it and then look back and then see if you can fuck around with it again.
Yeah. Let me get a sight of grace.
Yeah.
Reload it all so they don't know that I have an aggro them, and you just go and you start stabbing them all from behind.
Yeah.
It's definitely what I do as well.
Get the items. Yeah.
Yeah, the Weeping Peninsula. It's known as the Weeping Peninsula for the rainfall prevalent in the area.
Yeah.
It's also the site of some battles, a lot of sad shits going on here. I mean, even the castle's name is Morn, which it's spelled differently, but we know what you're up to there.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah,
so poetic.
Constant rainfall. But getting back to our homie Smithing Master Hugh, a very important enemy being featured a lot in this area is the Misbegotten. The Misbegotten are short humanoids. They're being punished. Their species is punished for making contact with the Crucible long ago. The Crucible is the primordial form of the Erdtree. It's kind of like the primordial soup. It's where all life kind of like was born one way or another, and they delved too deep and they touched something that they probably shouldn't have. They tried to find power or knowledge that was maybe forbidden. We don't know. But the Misbegotten are cursed because they touched the Crucible,
and it spread like a disease.
Yeah, they are cursed, a cursed race.
Yeah,
and from birth they are treated as slaves or worse. Yeah,
and that's the problem with Castlemore, and they were using them.
They're like, just because we had slaves, they got upset.
Could you imagine the audacity?
The audacity of these guys. Yeah, if people realize that, all you have to do is just stand up and have an uprising. And they did, which I have a theory about that. But the Bridge of Sacrifice is currently the only way across. There was another bridge. You can see the remnants of it, but that has been taken down long ago. The Bridge of Sacrifice, it's patrolled by soldiers of Godric. Now, why they're protecting you from going into the Weeping Peninsula?
It's not exactly clear.
I think it's partially because a lot of just insanity and not being able to die proper has just caused a lot of people to not know what they're up to anymore.
Well, I also think that if Godric were sending out soldiers, he would probably be like, well, any point of entry to anything we need you to protect, just because, I don't know.
We don't know.
We just want control.
Yeah.
Control like the flow of people. Like, because he's damn concerned about you. I mean, when you first wake up, he sends someone after you.
Yeah.
That's his doing.
Yeah, the grafted scion.
Yeah,
and a lot of what's happening now with the Misbegotten, it's happening fairly recently because there are still active battles happening in Castle Morn. There's still Misbegotten fighting soldiers as you go along. So this is a fresh battle. But this is also the first time you run into a ballista, which you mentioned, which is very funny and scary. It's funny the first time, anyways. But on the other side of the bridge, you run into a young blind woman named Irina. What's up with Irina, Dylan?
She's blind, and she's the daughter of the Lord of the Castle. And she is like, I tried to convince him to leave. And he kind of refuses because he thinks it's like his lordly duty. But I'm a blind chick, and I need help. And can you just deliver him this letter for me, please?
Imagine being such a shit dad that you leave your blind daughter on the side of the road. You're like, I gotta go back to work.
Well, it's really funny because he gets her pretty much all the way to the Bridge of Sacrifice. But that's also funny to me too. He's just like, you'll never escape because there's soldiers waiting right on the bridge. Like, where did you think she was going to go?
Well, those are his soldiers.
Is he working for Godric?
He is. Godric is the one who hired him to run Castle Morn.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's wearing the same armor as other banished knights who were banished from somewhere else, and I think that they might still have a lot of honor. So when Godric hires them, they're like, we're knights still. We're just working for someone else.
So
they're
then
kind of like hedge knights, maybe.
So then it's also implied then that Godric has big problems with the misbegotten.
Well, he didn't at first. I think Godric, he's very happy to subjugate anyone and hire anyone.
Yeah.
That's why you also see giants in chains. Not giants. You see trolls.
I don't know what they're called.
The big dudes. Not the big dudes, but bigger dudes.
The little giants.
The little giants, yes, with Rick Moranis.
Yes.
Yep. I call them rectangle torsos in my head.
Do you know why they're missing their like stomach and chest cavity?
Why?
Because they were the remnants of another god that the giants worshipped that they used to be in league with, and they cut the face of that god out of their body.
Wow.
What the fuck?
I know, right?
Okay, that's rad.
Don't worry, you're going to see it later. Yeah. And Arena's like, I'm a blind girl on the side of the road with no one telling me where to go. Can you deliver a letter to my father at the castle? It's a gorgeous silken handkerchief, lightly stained with blood. She's also wearing a dress stained with blood. A little further on past her is like a carriage that the misbegotten has taken over and is slaughtering the people. You kind of get the feeling that was her carriage that got attacked.
It's very funny how she escaped and she just didn't even travel that far away from it.
She's like literally around the corner. If the misbegotten just like put their heads together and were like, she's around here somewhere, and like took 3 steps, they would have found her.
And even that troll is just sitting there kind of looking a little dejected. The misbegotten aren't even attacking him.
No, he's just hanging out with the dogs there.
Yeah.
But
those fucking dogs. I hate those fucking dogs. How many times I've been killed by those dogs because they have that combo where it's one quick bite and you think you can get one hit in.
All you need is one. Nope.
And then they just take away over half your health. I still don't understand how they're able to do that. They're dogs.
Yeah.
I'm wearing armor.
The littler the dog, the bigger the bite is kind of how it works in this game.
Yeah.
All right. Since we didn't talk about it yet, what happened with Bach?
Yeah. So I felt bad for the little guy. I've been helping him out for forever.
Yeah.
And I gave him the larvial tear.
Yeah.
And he went and made himself a dumb little naked boy, and he's basically a vegetable now.
Yeah.
I haven't completed his.
Well, there's other ways to finish it. Those silly little items, the prattling pates. One of them you find it says, "You're beautiful."
Yep.
And I guess the primary reason for the prattling pates is for PvP. We can communicate with people.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're for.
Yeah.
But that's the only one where you use it in the single player experience. And you say you're beautiful, and Bach's like, oh, thanks, man. I guess I don't need to change how I look to be a good person. But Tyler's title's like, yeah, you need to change your look here. Good luck, dude.
Well, I have like reborn. A million of these things, and I'm
larval
like,
tears.
Yeah, I got
you
so
don't
many
want to
now.
respect your character.
I did twice to try.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah, I did twice to try out a couple different builds, and that's how I figured out that I wanted to do like Faith for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I went back to my spell sword ways, and that's been going real well for me. Yeah, but Bach, pour one out for the homie.
Yeah.
Sad little vegetable boy right now.
There's one instance where you have a very specific weapon that works well for a boss in the Volcano Manor. And in order to properly wield that weapon, I went and did a respec and just made my guy ideal for that weapon.
Yeah.
Did the boss, went back and respec'd into what I needed, like what I had before. And then I did another respec when I've got the Sword of Night and Flame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I assume there's going to be a point where what I want to do is I want to be a real bastard and like just be like dual wielding lightning bolts, just throwing them at people.
You look like Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zeus. Fuck some shit up. That's what I want to do. Like, and now like in that vein, the Flame of Frenzy paired with lightning bolts.
The Flame of Frenzy. Yes. So let's talk about Weeping Peninsula. One of the first places you can find is the Impaler's Catacomb. This is just around the back. Catacombs are where bodies are buried because the roots of the Erdtree are kind of poking up underneath in the catacombs, and that's a way to get their spirits back into the Erdtree to fuel the Erdtree. Something I did want to mention, though, the Erdtree Burial Watchdog. This is recently discovered. Crystal darts. If you use them on Erdtree Burial Watchdogs or the Imps, if you throw a crystal dart at them, it causes like a frenzy, like a berserkness in them, and they'll attack each other.
No
really?
Way.
So if there's battles where there's 2 Erdtree Burial Watchdogs, just throw a couple crystal darts, let them kill each other.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it messes with their wiring, like the way that they're created. I don't understand like the lore of what has animated them, but crystal darts makes them go bonkers and fight each other. So yeah, there's a lot of imps. Just throw a few crystal darts and let them fight each other.
The imps, the little fuckers.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Crystal darts. Cool.
They are such a living pain in the ass.
That blood loss.
Yeah. And with their good blood loss.
Yeah.
And it's just their combos. The jumping and the leaping. Not a fan.
The little fuckers hang on the ceiling. And like I'm normally like looking around for them, but I always miss one or two going through the catacombs, and then I let my guard down.
I feel like some
shit out of me.
I feel like some just appear though.
Well, and some of them crawl up from underneath too, which those will get me.
Yeah.
Then there's Erdtrees Rise, is like a little mage's tower up there, where there's a few of these scattered around. This is one of the first times you'll see the turtle puzzle, where you have to find 3 ghost turtles.
Yeah.
And you find them, and then you can get inside the rise. We don't know anything about who Erdtrees, however you want to say it, but in there is a memory stone.
I think it's Eurydice.
Eurydice. Regardless, they're dead. They're gone. But there's a memory stone at the top of the tower, and the memory stone allows you to
another memory slot,
which is great.
How many slots can you have? Do you know?
I think 10 or 11, maybe. Yeah. Which is too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
That I don't want to cycle through that much when I'm fighting.
Yeah.
So I often only have 3.
Always remember though, if you just hold in that button,
I know.
You go back to start.
It'll get you to the start. But even then,
well, that's where I keep Torrent and my spirits.
Yeah. I mean,
those are my hotkeys.
That's a lot. You'd have to be a pretty serious player. I don't know. Maybe it's organized differently if you play it on the computer. Yeah, memory stones are said to be fragments of the black moon that once hung above the eternal city. That one sentence description will fuck me up for a long time. But that's what they're from, a fragment of a black moon that was underground before something destroyed it. Uh-huh. Not a big deal. One of the coolest areas in the Weeping Peninsula is the Ailing Village. This must have been a nice village at some point.
It's not doing so hot now.
Nice little hamlet.
Yeah. It is ailing with the flame of frenzy. All these villagers are frenzied. And this is likely your first experience running into this. This village is host to long, dilapidated dwellings inhabited only by maddened fanatics gripped by the flame of frenzy. The description for the frenzied villager: gripped in a burning madness, they are often seen cowering in strange poses, their hands digging into their faces, attempting to control the flame of frenzy and prevent it from bursting forth from their eyes. It's what is it in Bloodborne? Frenzy? Is it just frenzy in there? What do they call it when you like?
I think it's called frenzy.
It might be that.
It's something like that. I mean, so it might as well just be
the flame of
madness.
Yeah, madness. Okay. But the flame of frenzy, it causes you to kind of lose your mind, as the Dung Eater would say, "Go cuckoo bananas." Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, they're no longer functioning members of society. These are crazy people trying to rip their faces off.
Yeah,
and
they're too far gone.
The flame of frenzy is one of the major
ailments.
No, like endings. One of the major forces in the world.
Yeah.
And the frenzy, the flame of frenzy, I forget the fucking name of it, but it is, you find it later on, and it was summoned from some really messed up shit. It involves the merchants. It involves one of the weirdest areas in the game, one of the most difficult areas to get down to in the game. But the flame of frenzy, once it takes over, like those people have been turned into something else, and they are agents for another force. I don't want to be too specific, but I think that the fact that the frenzy is in this village might have been what got into some of the misbegotten and caused them to have an uprising.
Maybe, yeah.
And one of the reasons I want to say that too is there's a character
it's spread through rats, and there are a lot of rats within Castlemorn, and there are a lot of rats in that village that are plagued with frenzy as well.
Yes,
and they're close by.
The diseases spread, and another reason I want to say that is Irina is a young blind woman wearing a certain outfit, and there's another character named Hyetta who is a young blind woman wearing the same outfit, and I think that these women were chosen by the flame of frenzy, and they're blind. They need to eat shabriri grapes to get led to a certain spot to attend a different form of maidenhood. And
oh, yeah, okay.
And I think Arena might be one of the reasons a lot of this came to the village, or she's a sign that it did happen in Castle Morn as well. Yep, because she's like, the light seems so far away. This is definitely related to Hyetta, who looks exactly like Arena. Definitely isn't her, but I think the Flame of Frenzy is trying to bring some maidens and have those maidens bring some people down deep under Leyendell, right. Deeper than you thought possible.
Damn.
And actually there's deeper than that too. Mm-hmm. But that's another story. The frenzied villagers there. There's also an enemy that is a lesser alabaster lord, which is a very rare enemy. You don't see many of them in the game. They are the co-founders of the gravity sorceries, a race of ancients with skin of stone who are said to have risen to life when a meteor struck long ago. So that's going on. Have fun with that one.
He's a fun little fight.
He's a skinny little boy. I like him. Tall but skinny. And then there's also the Kalu Baptism Church, where you pick up the Flame of Frenzy incantation.
Yep.
Or originating from the maddening 3 fingers. You've seen the 2 fingers, which actually it's those 2 fingers, your pinky and your ring finger. The 3 fingers are these 3. You don't really see them that often, only once. If you're unlucky, maybe
they have the ability to flip you off. Then, if they really wanted to,
it would be hard to tell. But
yeah. Is that which one is that?
There should have been a one character that says give him the 1 finger. Yeah, the Flame of Frenzy causes the yellow Flame of Frenzy to burst forth from the caster's eyes, deals damage and causes buildup of madness. It also causes buildup of madness in the caster, and it's only effective against Tarnished, the madness. So that means something.
It looks so damn cool. I wish I could use it more.
I've only used it a handful of times.
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah,
like I get to be like Cyclops, but like Cyclops shoots flames out of his eyes. Yeah. And I like using it. And if you're in an area where you're not in danger of getting frenzy anyway, there's no point not to use the spell for crowd control.
Yeah.
Because my other spells are like single target, and if it's effective, I'll use it usually.
Yeah. I love all of the Flame of Frenzy incantations, anything related to it. It's always very exciting. You'll see only a couple other areas where they have been turned fanatical crazy people. Mm-hmm. They're always exciting when they do. Some other spots on the Weeping Peninsula. At the Forest Lookout Tower, you'll find a hand ballista. This is one of 2 ballistae. Ballistae, I want to say, is a plural.
That sounds right.
This is one of 2 ballistas in the game. Mm-hmm. It's only this and like the little mini cannon. Unlike crossbows, they do not need to be loaded before firing each shot. I never used them, though.
It takes a lot of strength to wield it.
Yeah. I've seen people use the cannon, and it looks cool. But
yeah.
In the Earthbore Cave, you can fight a rune bear. For some reason, it's a massive beast with a runic pattern on its chest. Nothing too interesting in there.
I don't think I've been
He gave me hell for a long time. That was one of the bosses that I tried to beat a couple times when I first got there.
Where's this cave?
It's off the cliffside, I believe. You can follow the little skeleton guy. The little candle-looking thing.
Oh, yeah.
That you find. He'll lead you there if you find that.
It's on the north side.
Yeah,
it's on the north side, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of tucked down a little bit.
So it's just a corner that I haven't searched.
Yeah, I put a little skull over it because I was not strong enough to beat the bear.
Is it on the east or west side, or just
remember.
Like the
north?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Close to the tower.
A cool spot is the demi-human forest ruins. The demi-humans congregate here to worship their queen, who is like a mini boss there.
There's several queens, though.
Yeah, they all have their own
tribes.
Yeah,
but if you beat that queen, you get a pretty badass staff.
The demi-human queen staff.
Yep, I'm still using it.
It's a glintstone staff styled as a scepter. It was a gift once given to the demi-humans to foster peace, and it can be wielded by those of low intelligence. So they had to make one that was kind of demi-human friendly. It's like, are you smarter than a 5th grader is kind of like the point of that.
Her spell that she gives you too is the most trash spell, I think, maybe in the entire game. It's so not useful.
Yeah, well, and she tries to only use it a couple times before she realizes she sucks, and then she'll just use it to hit you with.
Yeah. I think that's actually a really good detail. Like, to get a shitty spell from someone who can't use intelligence properly is like, it's just kind of like a... It's just a wet fart of a spell.
Everyone in the academy laughs at it too. Yeah, it's sad. But if you kill the demi-human queen, all the other demi-humans stop fighting. They lose all of their...
they cower.
They cower in fear.
And that's one of the notes you can buy from the merchant, too. It'll say, like, take her out, make it easier. So that's exactly what I did.
I had never had any trouble with her in any of my builds. Like, she's slow, and she just can't really... She can't hang. So
I was ride the horse in, get a quick 2 like R2s, and then it's pretty much done.
Yeah,
if you can break her poise pretty quick too. So
yeah,
I beat her in my first try back when I was just a wee little lad, a wee little yes man who didn't even know how to fight that well.
I want to read a crafting materials description. It's rare that I find a crafting material that I think is worth talking about. Okay. The gold tinged excrement. Tinged. I'd say tinged. The gold tinged excrement, which means poop.
Thank you, Brad.
Someone's excrement. It has a golden tinge. Gold tinged excrement is a highly stable substance. It doesn't dry out, nor does it lose its customary warmth or scent. What the fuck is it? Well, there's just golden poop that never stops being warm, and that's something you can use to make shit?
I mean,
I was like, what the fuck is that?
There's a lot about this game that is just kind of body horror anyway. So it's like adding poop to it kind of makes a ton of sense. And it's just like everything's body based, and it's like fingers, poop. It's all fucking weird.
It's gold tinged and it never stops smelling or being warm.
Well, a lot of the themes that I keep finding in this game is like controlling. It's like humanity. So it's like the difference between like beast and man, and then God. So like there's like these 3 layers of things. I don't know. There's just it all makes sense. It's all super thematic.
Yeah. I was so excited when I was reading this description.
I sold some of it to a merchant, and he happily bought it because you can sell all your crafting stuff, and I didn't know what to do with it, and I needed runes.
I do not craft that much.
I don't craft that much either. I think it depends a lot on your build. The only thing I really wound up crafting my first time was healing items for the various status effects.
I'm a big cracked pot guy.
You're a cracked pot guy.
I'm a cracked pot guy.
You like throwing them around?
Oh, yeah. Toss them all around.
I got so many some big ones.
I got so many cracked pots. I got like
drowning in them, dude.
Dude, so many. Some of them are poisonous and they stink. Other ones just go boom.
Yeah, I like the boom ones.
Great.
Yeah.
You'll also find in this area the Morn Tunnel. In here, you'll find a scaly misbegotten. What I think is interesting, though, is the item they drop is the Rusted Anchor. The Rusted Anchor, while the Tarnished left the lands between with their lord when they left with Godfrey back in the day, one boat alone was said to have been left behind. I think that's cool that the anchor is here because it kind of just says like that long shore on the west side of the Weeping Peninsula is where the Tarnished originally left with Godfrey back in the day. That was a departing point. I don't know the significance of one boat being left behind, but that's the anchor from that. I think it's just cool. Like that, we know the Tarnished left. Presumably, they went south.
Well, it would imply that some people stayed if there was one boat left.
Yeah,
so that's like the implication, right?
Maybe that was the one that like wound up.
Maybe it would imply that most people wanted to go with him.
Yeah,
and that some people were still hesitant.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to, I don't know. I guess that's like the subtext, right?
Yeah. And it's one of those things. There's so many wonderful little stories hinted at. In the Church of the Pilgrimage, you'll find Warhawk ashes. It's a spirit of a Stormvale Warhawk. We're going to learn a lot more about the Storm King. Actually, we won't. We're going to talk about him and speculate. We don't know much about the Storm King, but yeah, the talons of which were sliced off so that razor-fine swords could be grafted in their place. Fuck you. Fuck you and whoever started this shit. I am upset and I hate you. Yeah. But you'll find the Tomb Sword Catacombs. I hate this one. This one is kind of by the Minor Erdtree.
Yeah.
And this has a lot of skeleton enemies, which you have to double kill, and I hate it.
Yeah, because you can't
lock onto them.
Yeah, you can't. And even if you're standing right over them, you can hit them like right when they're coming back.
User, it's absolute madness.
Yeah.
Because you got to run in there.
Fire kills them, though.
There's certain weapons that'll kill them the first time.
Yeah.
Doesn't holy damage kill them for good?
I think so.
Fire, yeah.
Don't quote me.
I'm pretty sure the fire gets rid of them the first time, though I've been using lightning for so long now that I don't remember.
You'll also fight a cemetery shade here. The most I could find about it is it's a gravekeeper possibly taken over by bugs.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Some oogie boogie type shit.
You'll get one of the best ashen remains in these catacombs. You get the Lutel the Headless.
Yeah.
It is a headless knight, a spirit of a headless knight who leads the mausoleum soldiers, wields a lance and robed in death, and hurls spectral lances at foes. She sacrificed her life so that in death she could continue to protect a soulless demigod until their revival. So this is in reference to what is instantly just made me think of like Shadow of the Colossus the first time that I saw it walking around. What was your first experience when you saw the walking mausoleum?
Terrified.
It's pretty wicked.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it was huge, and I just went and hit it. I was like, well, we're going to see what happens here. And then I was pleasantly surprised when I could go inside. And then I got inside and was like, that was great. What the fuck do I do in here? There's nothing in here. And then I left. But now...
There's really nothing to do in there.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Unless you're, you know...
It's nice to know that you can duplicate shit in there, remembrances.
Yeah.
But no, seeing it for the first time, pure terror.
Yeah, you have to you have to clean up their feet. Like knock the skulls off of there. Mm-hmm. Some of them you actually have to do different things. Some of them you can like jump onto, depending on certain ones.
I bet you that's what I got to do to that one.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
The ghost at the Church of the Pilgrimage says the mausoleum prowls, cradling the soulless demigod. O America, Queen Eternal, he is your unwanted child. And the Japanese translation is the ugly bastard of Queen America.
Oh, I like that.
Pulling no punches.
Yeah. Well, bastard doesn't mean a negative. Well, I mean, it's got a negative connotation, but in, fantasy, it just means.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A child born out of wedlock.
Yeah, like Jon Snow.
How scandalous.
I know. America's out over there fucking herself, making offspring, and like, this is the bastard. Maybe that is. She was out of wedlock, so this could have been some of her first children she had with maybe Radagon or Godfrey. I don't know who she was married to at the time. She was having a lot of weird kids. Essentially, though, I also get the vibes this might be pieces of Godwin after he was killed, because when he is killed, his body lives, but his soul is destroyed. So maybe these are part of the soulless body of Godwin.
That's interesting.
You can place your boss remembrances in the altar to duplicate it. One use only. Those without a bell on the bottom have a limited number of remembrances. It's only like some of the weaker big bosses, like the ultimate big boss ones. Only certain mausoleums will let you duplicate those items. Yeah. They do have the Minor Erdtree up at the top here. This is my first time running into the Erdtree avatar, which you'll see a lot of the minor.
Like.
Yeah, they're cool.
They repeat. They're one of those.
They do mix it up though. Some of them will use more rot-based attacks, and depending on kind of the.
It's kind of like the dragons. They're all the same, but not really.
Yeah, they all have their little quirks. Mm-hmm. I tried to figure out stuff about these Erdtree avatars, and there's not a lot there, but some theories that I did like. All the Minor Erdtrees are surrounded by the big pots.
Yeah,
and
which I still don't quite understand.
Well, our homeboy here, Alexander Iron Fist, after you beat Radon, go back to have you been back to the battlefield afterwards?
Yeah.
Because Iron Fist Alexander is out there eating bodies.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just need to get stronger. And when you defeat the pots, you find meat dumplings. They eat the souls of warriors to make themselves stronger.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So he was just waiting to clean up a battlefield?
He definitely wanted to afterwards.
It's like Golden Corral for him.
Radon would be a great meal. He's a big boy, real powerful.
But his body never remains, so.
No, I went back there because one of the portraits is there.
Yeah, and there is a cave in the northwestern part of that battlefield, way northwest.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you serious?
I wouldn't lie to you.
I know you wouldn't, but fuck.
Damn it. I was like, I rode around. I'm like, this is a big area. There's probably nothing out here.
I did too, and I didn't find it. And then I found out later on, like, oh yeah, there's a spot there.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
always something.
The reason that there are giant dead pots surrounding the Minor Erdtree, they're possibly being used as fertilizer. Like those pots are kind of there and left with all their like meat, which will get soaked into the ground and go up into the Minor Erdtree. I like that theory. The Guardians are tree people who eternally watch and protect the Erdtree and its offspring. A large headless creature that looks like a tree stump wielding a staff. I couldn't find much else about that juicy information, but that's what I got.
I mean, that's straightforward.
I really liked that fight too. I know they repeat, so I mean, once you learn it, you learn it. But the first time I did that fight, I felt very accomplished. That's
they're not difficult. Yeah. That's the thing too. Like if they get a 2 combo on you, you can die.
Torrent makes them really easy though. Torrent makes it real.
Sometimes Torrent really does make it easy to cheese them.
Yeah. Well, if I'll go in there, jump off a Torrent, do like some big jumping attacks, and then if I'm getting my ass kicked, to just roll away and ride Torrent off and heal a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then come back.
Torrent's great.
The Walking Mausoleum we talked about. The Tomb Sword ruins not far from there. You can find the Winged Scythe. That's one of 4 Reaper weapons. It's actually a pretty cool weapon. I use it in one of my characters.
Dex and Faith. Yep.
Very cool. The Weeping Everjail. There you can find the ancient hero of Zamor. The Zamor, if you're not familiar with.
I am not.
They are warriors who assisted in the war against the giants, said to be the mortal enemies of the fire giants since time immemorial. So Zamor, it's up there in the frosted mountains up top. That's where they're from. For one to be way down here, my understanding would be that they rode south with Godfrey because the castle rampart we see earlier is destroyed, and that wasn't recent. That was definitely something that happened a while back, and that's from when Godfrey marched down south. There was somebody else running Castle Morn, and Godfrey was coming to subjugate everyone to America's rule.
Okay.
And so Godfrey rode south, and we think the hero of Zamor would have came down there and probably did something to piss someone off and got put in jail.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You find the 4th Church of America. Maybe it was the 3rd. I think maybe the 4th.
It's the 4th. The 3rd church is where you get the wondrous physic.
I need to plot out where the churches are because the first one must have been where they must have grown out. And if this is the 4th, it's interesting. I'd like to follow the map to see how they all came up in order because, it's interesting. This is the 4th church specifically for America.
Well, the first church has got to be closer to the capital.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Yeah, there's one right outside the capital.
Yeah, so it must have extended out from there.
You mentioned this before, Tyler. The Witchbane Ruins, a very cool spot. This is the first time that I ran into marionette soldiers who I hate dearly.
You really hate them?
I do. They pissed me off. I don't know. Something about 4 swords just scares me more than it should.
Yeah. Four crossbows.
Yeah. It's mean.
And their little, like, epileptic seizure thing they have when you kill them and they just freak out. You gotten that? Yeah, like I killed one. I thought he was dead, and then he just starts writhing on the ground. And in game, I even took a step back, like, "You good, dude? If you hold still, I'll finish it off. Yeah. Like, stop."
It's a courtesy. You're supposed to stomp the deer's, neck in. Yeah, not let it sit there and have a seizure.
I'm like, stop swinging at me. You're dead.
The soldiers are actually are puppets created and given life by the superior beings. That's what it says. The superior beings of Rea Lucaria. You can tell who wrote the description. The purpose is to protect and stop intruders. There's also an enemy you don't see often, the arcane sphere of faces.
Yeah. I like him.
Yeah, those are weird.
Yeah. That one actually surprised me in a recent playthrough because I don't think I ever had seen one. And I'm like, why does this game keep doing this to me?
Because it's fun.
It's great fun.
Objects animated through some form of sorcery, mysteriously rare. Inside of the Witchbane Ruins, you find Sorceress Selen. And you knew it was Selen.
Yeah, because I had found her in Limgrave, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm doing a spell sword, so she taught me some spells, and then finding her again, she's chained to the wall, and just like I can't interact with her. I don't want to swing on her because
no, don't.
That would be bad. So I was like, all right, sweet, I found you here, but you're Yeah. The yes man track. But yeah, no, I went back to her in Limgrave, and then I don't know what to do next with her. I guess I'll just keep playing because you can't.
You did just beat Radon?
Oh, I beat Radon a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
The quest can continue after that. Essentially, though, Sorceress Selen has been imprisoned here by the church, not the church, the academy. And
they find her in the other ruins and move her?
Well, she's there, and she is astral projecting her consciousness to another being.
Okay.
And you will have to do something with this body. Also, the dude that kind of runs Radon's Castle Redmane, the witch hunter Jaren, he will show up there and have a conversation. We can talk about that another time. And way out west here, you'll also find the isolated merchant shack. Buy a lantern if you don't have one. There's that beautiful long shoreline with a lot of wandering dead. And I think it might have been people that missed the boat or people that were friends with the Tarnished that
clearly they're like hope that like if they're by there, it means they wanted to, leave.
Yeah. It's like the people that love sailors, They're just going to be undead wandering the shores forever.
Yeah.
If you go all the way north on the shore, there's nothing, which was weird to me. I thought there'd be a cave or something.
You know what? Yeah. There are some places in this game where I'm surprised that they let it have like a little space and peace. And sometimes I'm just like, you just didn't want to put anything here, did you? Like the whole entire northern like ice area, I just find to be so boring. But yeah,
the one before the Hollow Tree.
Yeah.
It's
a little sparse. There's not a lot to do.
It's very sparse and it's hard to navigate, which makes it less fun.
And that's what irritates me because when I do get to a big area, I know there's stuff to do. I know there's people to talk to and caves to find.
Yeah.
But every now and again you run into like the shoreline where like I spend all this time looking for something and don't find anything.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
a
like
little disappointing.
I mean, it is just cool knowing it's like the largest shore in the game and it's potentially where the Tarnished left, but I want something more.
Yeah.
Something interesting though, if you go all the way down south over there, you find the Tower of Return. Do you want to go to Lanedale, the royal capital, right away? Because it will transport you there. You won't be able to go anywhere in the capital other than fight a giant golem. But you can get a Blessed Dew talisman there. I think the Tower of Return might have been put there kind of as a lighthouse or a way for if the Tarnished came back, it would be like a fast travel spot back to the capital for them. But I think it's just kind of fallen out of use and now it's not functional anymore. But I mean, it's functional, but not to help you get anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. So this will take us back over to the Castle Morn Rampart where there is the Nomadic Merchant. And if it's nighttime, there are two bosses that will show up around here. The Knights Cavalry will show up.
Oh, God.
The Knights Cavalry are working for the Veiled Monarch, for the one running the Lanedale capital. Yep. Margot, which I guess we can just talk about. Margot is Margit. Margit is the one who is the king of Lanedale.
Yeah.
He was banished to the sewers as an omen, but when everybody else died, he's like, someone's got to run this shit now. And he's
it's him? So you beat him once.
But he does, but that he doesn't die.
But then I beat Margot, and it's still him.
Yes, that's the same person.
No, I just thought they were buddies.
I was so confused.
When I saw him again, I'm like, oh, you've got the same like disease as him, like you're turning into a tree guy. Yeah.
Especially since I accidentally called Margit for forever, and then finally like put it in my brain that his name is Margot, and then he shows up again, and the motherfucker changed his name to what I had been calling him. So then I knew it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But it is him, and I'm like, what, dude? Fucking why?
Yeah, I don't know if he changed his name.
So why does he challenge you the first time, and how does he survive death?
I mean, he's trying to protect America's resting place. He doesn't want anyone to get there because that's his mom. And despite the way that he was treated, he still loves his family, unlike Moog, who's trying to fuck a baby. We're not going to... Yeah.
He's very wistful when you see all the chairs lined up and and he's just like, look at all these lords.
And even him, he's like, these are all the cool people. And there's Godric's chair.
I like how he's going through and he's naming them, and I'm like, yep, dead. Dead. And then he keeps naming people. I'm like, wait, hold on.
Slow down.
I got more to do.
I need a pen and paper.
Yeah.
But Margit, I think he uses the name Margot because he doesn't want people to know it's the fell omen that is maybe running the place.
Yeah.
I'm fuzzy on the name change, but that is the same person. And the Knights Cavalry, they ride funeral steeds. So I think they might have been the knights tasked with like guarding Godwin's funeral potentially because they ride funeral steed is what it says, but they work for the fell omen. And they're out there hunting Tarnished at night.
I had no idea they were working for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, and around the corner there, you can find a death bird only at night.
Oh, the death bird, yeah.
Spooky. Castle Morn is the highlight of this area.
It sure as fuck is. It's the big dungeon for the entire area.
I was terrified going into it.
Me too.
I thought for sure I was way out of my league.
Yep.
Same.
And then shortly after this, I went to the Academy of Ray Lucaria. I'm like, this is the end of the game. Guys, I shouldn't be here right now. I'm a fucking idiot.
It's a decently designed castle. I found the level design of it to be a little strange in some ways, like just how you navigate it. I found the ramparts a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
And in fact, I missed her dad completely because I thought he was going to be in a room somewhere, as is like tradition, like in a safe place.
Yeah.
He was not in a safe place.
Yeah. I mean,
was
you
just
have to
up a
like,
tower.
you
Yeah.
jump off like a weird spot and I missed him the first time. I actually remember I went down there, but I didn't go up around to even see him. The first thing you notice, though, when you come up out of the elevator is a fucking pile of bodies and the misbegotten, like, having a bonfire and just raging. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They listen to real heavy metal music. Like, I would trust their musical tastes. Yeah.
They really know how to do, like, tumbles, too. Like, they took, like, toddler gym classes very seriously.
Yeah. That's their primary form of getting around is they just roll everywhere.
Yeah.
Some can fly, but, giant bonfire of bodies. And I was so terrified of it, I didn't kill them and go up around, so I missed a little area of the castle.
Yeah.
You can pick them off if you got like throwing knives or the daggers or whatever. If you hit one,
ranged attack too. They won't like defend.
Draw one at a time.
Yeah. And I had a little message that said like try drawing out or whatever. Yeah. So that was the method I went to. But I was super motivated because Mr. Crackpot's over here saw all those smoldering butterflies, and I was like, resources. Yes, I need those.
It's interesting how many ways there are to play this game.
I know.
I mean, I went up there and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to sneak over here. And then I got killed by a dog. I'm like, there's no winning.
You sneak around, you got the pumpkin head guy just chilling, waiting for you.
You're just sitting there sad.
I'm like, I'm going to sneak by you if that's cool.
I hate fighting those guys.
It's frustrating too because when you try to sneak behind him, because he's just sitting there doing his thing.
Yeah.
And I was like keeping one eye on him.
I forget the lore of the Pumpkinhead. He was there working with the castle and Godric's knights, but I think maybe the Misbegotten realized he's just a big homie. They're like, he's not going to hurt us. He's fine.
He kind of gave up.
Yeah, there's still a battle ongoing, though, which is interesting. Like, this is a very fresh thing that's still happening. Edgar sitting there saying he wants to get the sword back. I'm like, we could fucking go help your guys who are out there. You're just sitting there like, I'm going to stay here. We're getting it. I'm like, you're not doing anything. How
about you go see your blind daughter, you asshole?
Yeah.
Also, here's a letter.
He's such a bitch. If you kill him when you go talk to him, if you just attack him and kill him, he like asks Godric for forgiveness. I'm like, you are asking Godric for forgiveness, the worst character in the game.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, like, even when you, Hugh or whatever, the lord of his castle, Hugh Castle.
Father Haight? Kenneth Haight.
Even he's like, Godric's some fucking podunk weirdo who thinks he's like really fucking cool and isn't.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees though too. It's just like,
I do like how everybody collectively shits on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
because he's so gross.
Even when you get in there after defeating Godric, you go to the Two Fingers, that like really old like maiden lady. She's like, Godric's a bitch. Yeah. It's like, whoa, grandma, have you been drinking? Inside Castle Morn, you can talk to Edgar. He's like, I can't leave until I get the sword back. The sword is like the legacy of the castle. You can summon him to fight. So he will help you fight it in the end.
Oh, no shit.
I didn't know it, though. So
he fights with the Leonid?
Yeah. The Leonine Misbegotten. Before you get down there, though, you can find the whip, which is cool. It's not really the most effective weapon, but it cannot be stopped by parrying or guarding.
I use it a lot.
It makes it. I mean, if you want to do a Castlevania build, it's pretty fun.
It's actually kind of dope. I'm waiting until because I've been doing like daggers and whips, just trying out something new because I don't think a lot of people use daggers in this game.
And daggers are so nice,
especially one with blood loss. I use the Reduvia quite a bit.
Yeah, I should get Reduvia as soon as possible. I forget where you get it.
Oh, it's in Limgrave. It's one of the first weapons you can get.
I forgot where I got it.
Where is it?
By Patches. You can invade it. You probably already have it. If it's outside of Patches' place.
Yeah, I
was thinking of a different dagger.
Yeah, but then
but the Erdtree one scales with my faith, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of it's a toss up.
And also, just go to Hugh, and you can have it even scale more with Faith or like with something else too if you want.
That's true.
Yeah, affinities are fun. But Leonine Misbegotten is down there on the shore. You have to jump way down. And he's, I imagine, the leader of the rebellion. He was the one person that Edgar said, go clean up my bed sheets. He's like, you know what? Fuck you.
No, I'm not going to do that.
like I said earlier, I like to imagine the Flame of Frenzy might have been kind of affecting things inside there. I mean, just the fact that
but their eyes aren't. They don't have the glow of someone frenzied.
But it was definitely a presence in the castle.
Sure.
If Arena was going on there, maybe even Arena said a few things like maybe you should treat them better. We don't know, but Leonine Misbegotten was scary. Was someone that I got to and I ding dong ditched again, and I'm like, bye. I'm not ready to fight you.
He's actually a bit of a crucible where he's relentless, and this is where you really learn. Like Margit and this guy is where you learn okay, you're just gonna have to dodge at the right time.
Yeah,
that's it. You just have to learn their swing patterns. That's it.
And yeah, I like the opening. He just starts charging at you. I'm like, wait, whoa. Time out.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, you didn't curtsy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a great fight, though. I did come back to do it later, but I think it's a pretty simple fight.
It's
once you know what the attacks are, just make sure you're dodging. I found dodging away to be what I did the most. I don't know if that's the best, but
it's kind of risky because there is a lot of stuff strewn throughout the battlefield that you can get caught on.
Yeah.
So I would always side dodge and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're doing long distance stuff and you have the wolves summoned, it's actually one of the easier fights.
Yeah, I mean, I beat it in my first playthrough, just not on my first try, but when I was still very new at the game. So
yeah,
and I've gotten a lot better since then.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's funny going back now after beating the game. I'm like, wow, I really wasn't that good when I started.
Yeah. It's surprising too because you and I both got really good at Bloodborne and all these. You especially at Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And that's action packed and fast paced, and for some reason this has a completely different game feel.
Yeah.
So
I would rather fight every one of these bosses 10 more times and fight Orphan of Kos once more.
I will never face Orphan of Kos ever again.
Yeah, Orphan of Kos is bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you defeat Leonine Misbegotten and you get the Grafted Blade Greatsword. Yeah. The Storied Sword of Castle Morn, a revenger's weapon. It is burdened with oceans of anger and regret. Lone surviving champion fought from a country now vanished, which was, this country here. The country's gone because Godfrey came down and subjugated everybody. But this lone surviving champion was so determined to continue fighting that he claimed the swords of an entire clan of warriors, put him into one sword, and he was the one who made a big stand against Godfrey. He ultimately lost, and that's why their country vanished. But all of that anger and the pure rage that was in all of those warriors has made it into this sword, and it is one of the 9 legendary armaments in the game. I don't know the significance of those. We'll have to talk about that at another time.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that.
It's a cool weapon. I saw that and I said, oh, Game of Thrones, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is cool.
You should make a chair. You need a few more clans of warriors, I guess. But yeah, you can take the sword up to Edgar, and he's like, this is great. Thanks, man. I'm going to go check on my blind daughter who was covered in blood on the side of the road.
Yeah.
She'll be fine, though. I'm so excited to see her.
Lovely girl.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if his quest line is bugged for me or what's going on, because I've tried every which way to get him to go see his fucking daughter.
He's not still sitting up in the castle, right?
He's nowhere.
Yeah, I know where he is.
Shit.
Immediately, though, he goes to see Arena. She's dead. And Edgar vows revenge on all Misbegotten, and he's a ragey bad boy now. I put down full attack of the clones, the women and the children. He's going to go and just ride speeder bikes, just slaughtering Misbegotten. Yeah. You find him again. I didn't realize that I had fought him and killed him after this, but you find him again in the Revenger's Shack in Liurnia of the Lakes. He ambushes.
So that's what that place is for.
Yeah. You might have already fought him.
I know where that place is. I haven't been back there.
I didn't fight him.
Okay, because he just comes in as an invader, and I didn't realize that it was Edgar from before.
Why is he trying to get revenge on you?
He invades you. You kill him. There are 5 dead bodies and 5 meat dumplings around. I don't know.
Did he succumb to like eating human flesh?
Maybe.
Okay.
Regardless, he is consumed by anger, and
sure. Yeah.
we don't know what it was. He attacks you, and you kill him, and he has a shabriri grape on him. And you know what those are? Eyeballs.
No. I redact my statement. Did not know what those were.
I take that back. I do not know. Yeah. And this is another reason I want to assume some Flame of Frenzy shit was going on, because that is one of the most important items that you give into Hyetta. And it's just a charming story of, can I have a grape? And you give her a grape and she eats it. And she's just eating eyeballs. It's very much got it's got like a Bloodborne feel to it, with Master Willem just wanting eyes in his brain. Yeah.
That sentence hurt my brain.
He's acquiring shabriri grapes, and you get one when you beat him. You get one of the shabriri grapes. So I have a feeling if Arena hadn't been killed, and she would have been given some of those juicy grapes, and she would eventually wanted to be led, because you take the grapes and it leads you towards the 3 fingers, is what happens when you eat these things.
Oh, okay. A lot of shit is clicking for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very exciting. And then I read like one sentence from a description, I'm like, God damn it.
Yep.
There is a black moon above the eternal city in Nokron? Come on now. Yeah, but also when you kill him, he has a Banished Knight's Halberd +8, which is kind of cool.
Oh, I did kill him then. That's why I can't find him.
He's dead.
Yep, because I definitely have that weapon. Yeah, no. I remember now.
I mean, you can just kill him when he's mourning his daughter and save you a trip later, but it feels a little gross.
Do you get the same amount of souls?
I think you get the same amount of stuff. I don't know for
souls.
sure.
I still call them souls.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. That's the tale of the Weeping Peninsula.
Love it.
As known by our Roundtable Hold and from the research of Gideon Offnear and all of my little people that are doing the real work online, and I read their shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but Gideon takes credit though, so I'm taking full credit for all of it.
Yeah. I mean, I give all my credit to Reddit.
Yeah.
Just people really going ham. And then it's like paragraph after paragraph, and I'm just like, okay, I'll stop now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's great. I think it's I didn't have the strongest feelings about this the first time I played through it. Castle Morn I thought was exciting, but knowing a lot more of the lore of what's going on with the Ailing Village and knowing what these walking mausoleums are a little better. And I didn't realize like that was where Godfrey's Long March ended. That's why there's all those swords in the little, like, it looks like an homage to Berserk, I want to say. Those like little sword graveyards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They are definitely homages to Berserk.
Yeah.
I love it. So is frankly the Erdtree. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's just a reference to trees, which God created. So
yeah, but these like trees of light, that's definitely something he pulled from Kintaro Miura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Edgar's definitely a reference to Anakin Skywalker when he wants to kill.
You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah. You can't tell me otherwise. Yeah. Do you guys have any closing thoughts?
My brain is just ticking now, and I can't wait to go home and actually play it today. Yeah. I wasn't going to. I was like, I'm going to clean my house. I'm going to do this shit. Nope.
Going to clean some storylines.
I'm going to clean some storylines.
Yeah. My first playthrough was all strength-based and just no magic whatsoever, and I found the game to be very hard. So I ended up going with a spell sword because I feel like it's a little easier for a noob.
Versatility.
But I'm starting to think, you said rain negates or dampens magic damage, correct?
Certain magic. It also amplifies other magic.
I wonder if that's why I had I felt like I had an easier time in the Weeping Peninsula, even though I was newer at the game with my strength build, than I did sometimes with my spell sword. And I wonder if it's because it's always raining there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely affects certain things. Castle Morn was, I think, the most difficult area of
By
this
far.
for me. And Leonine Misbegotten specifically. A lot of the other things I either avoided or I was able to work through without much difficulty. And the other areas around here I didn't think were too gave me too much trouble. The Minor Erdtree I had to fight maybe 10 times the first time, the Erdtree avatar, but...
Oh, I knew kind of by a certain point that I could just come back here and it would be okay. And it'd be all right. I can get the tears.
It's a rare instance where it was for sure a dead end. Like, this is a peninsula. I know there's nothing going on outside of this. So I can just clean up what I can and come back. Because otherwise, turns out, Ray Lucaria is not the end of the game, which I was wrong.
Because I looked at that, I'm like, that's the final place, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Just a little off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Staggering. Yep.
Yeah. Hell.
Next time we come back, we're going to be talking about Stormvale Castle, and we'll conclude Godric's storyline.
Sweet.
Yeah. Where can they find us, Dylan?
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. I mean, you type in Hair of the Dogcast, you're just going to find it anyway. We got Facebook. I mean, it's everywhere you can. It's everywhere you can probably find us on social media.
Yeah, look up Hair of the Dogcast. We're there.
You're intelligent people. I think you get.
We're around.
You're not demi-human queens or nothing.
No, it's like you can cast a better spell than like Splatter Star or whatever it's called.
Splatter Star.
Yeah.
I like that. To imagine she'd have to scream that every time she uses it. Splatter Star.
Like it's anime.
We exist because of people like you. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or thoughts about this episode, reach out to us. And if you want access to these episodes early, and the way the release schedule is going to be working out, most of the Elden Dogs will be out at least 2 weeks to maybe a month earlier than for our Patreon members than those that are listening now. For example, the next episode will be, the release schedule is hard to work out my brain. You'll get it at least 2 weeks earlier if you're a Patreon member for as low as $3 a month. So plus we have a Discord. You can come talk with us. A lot of cool people on there. Our executive producers are Ryan Christianick, Tyler Keller, Kip, the misbegotten killer.
Yeah.
Yep. And Brian Ward and Katie Bone. And let me think. Okay, what is our next episode topic going to be? It'll be a dog cast. I think it was tentatively scheduled to be video games we can't stop thinking about. We could do an audible.
I like that.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Thanks again, and treat any misbegotten with a lot of respect.
Or just murder them. It's fine.
Yeah.
Some of them actually carry a decent amount of runes.
Don't eat grapes. Don't give potions to Nefeli Lou.
And don't forget to curtsy.
And don't forget to curtsy. We'll see you next time, everyone.